The movie is really about a kitten who is so cute that everyone who comes into contact with it instantly falls in love. So whether you're a drug lord or a murderous assassin or a down on his luck comic book artist or aspiring comic book artist, you fall in love with this cat. And this cat, I think it finds Rel. So it finds this guy who's going through a rough time and kind of needs a friend at a certain time in his life, and they immediately bond, and the cat is stolen, and he realizes he has to do anything he can to get the cat back. And so these cousins, Rel and Clarence, kind of go on this insane adventure to the depths of the criminal underworld of Los Angeles in order to rescue a kitten, and they go through hell to get it back. They have a combination of talent and skills that I don't know that I've ever seen in performers before, in that they have wonderful comedy instincts. They both understand what makes comedy work. They both can make people laugh, and they're both very talented as comedians, but they're also incredible actors. They both can disappear into roles, they can disappear into characters, and so they make very funny and very true comedic choices from a place of being in a character and being in a world. So it's so much fun to direct them because we can build a world around these characters and the characters feel very real, and that makes the sketches feel, I think, a little bit different or a little bit elevated from what you would typically see in a sketch where everyone's kind of in the joke and living the joke, whereas they're kind of giving life to these characters and making it funny at the same time, which is just very rare. That cat is incredibly talented. That cat is a genius. Like, you ask it to do anything and it's just like hitting marks, we're having bullet squibs go off next to it and people firing guns and jumping over tables and over dead bodies and anything we've asked that cat to do, and having emotional connections with Jordan, and having these. We've gotten shots where every person around Video Village watching the monitor goes, "Oh," out loud without even knowing that they're doing it, because they saw something so cute that it's like an instinctual reaction. So I went into it very nervous about the process and have been proven wrong. So I think the adage should be, don't work with kids or animals unless it's cats, because a child cat is actually the best actor I've ever worked with. Will Forte plays Hulka, and he is an amazing comic actor. He's actually a lot like Keegan and Jordan in that he really gets into a character, disappears into a role, and makes just unbelievably funny choices as Hulka. I mean, he came in, he was so game to do whatever. He just wanted to make it funny and make it real and do something unique, and somehow I convinced him to put his hair into cornrows, and not just his hair, but his beard is in cornrows in this movie. So we have, it's a very painful process, as it turns out, to get cornrows. Most people don't know that. So for a couple weeks, he had cornrowed hair and cornrowed beard, and would just walk around constantly in pain because he's a champion and he commits to the character. So he did that for us. Cheddar is the kind of the dramatic, crazy part of the movie. He's very much represents the kind of the constant threat that Clarence and Rel are living under, and he has to bring this level of intensity and this level of danger to that role, and he just nails it. And it's bizarre to see him play Cheddar, because he plays Cheddar with such menace, and yet he's one of the nicest human beings that I've ever met. So you see this guy he's a big guy, and he's like the cuddliest, sweetest guy, and then he turns it on and he becomes Cheddar, and it's like a light switch has flipped, and he's got this intensity and this threatening nature in his eyes, and you just can hardly look at him because he's so scary. But yeah, he's just an unbelievable actor and takes it very seriously. Keegan and Jordan are incredibly unique in that they complement each other incredibly well comedically, without it ever being a traditional straight man and silly guy. Certainly Jordan is a little bit more mellow or cerebral of the two. Keegan is the more energetic of the two, but they can definitely trade off those roles depending on the needs of a given scene. And so in a lot of ways, their magical quality is that they're kind of the yin and yang of whatever they need to be. And so they're never, there are scenes in the film where Jordan is the one who has a lot of intensity or a lot of energy or is doing something very, very broad comedically, and Keegan goes from being very silly to having these very intense dramatic scenes. And so they kind of are, they're just wonderful partners.